Hi, my name is Igby Page, and for this video, I will be talking about story structures and how you can gain inspiration from altering all set-in-stone story structures. So, right here, you will see this is the hero's journey, and it is a little hard to read. So, I will put a link of the resource I used to make this. It's from Reedsy. It'll be in my description. And so, step number 1 is your ordinary life. And then step number 2 is receiving the call to adventure. And then step 3 is refusing the call. Step 4 is essentially the mentor or the thing that drives you. The thing that drives you to go on the adventure. And then crossing the threshold. So leaving your comfort home, leaving your home. And then facing challenges on the way that leads up to going into the belly of the beast, or like the big bad guy. Kind of like what's listed on the site is Luke going into the, not Starkiller, Death Star, oh my god. Or any like of the big bad guy you're kind of meeting, and it's essentially the first meet. And then no ordeal happens. And this is essentially where you're challenging, kind of what you meet here and overcoming it. The reward is you gain something from this whole journey. Hurdle is your journey's not done yet. You thought it was, the end was in sight, but now here comes this to challenge you. And then resurrection is facing the final challenge. So like if you lost in this one or won in this one, you would, win in here. And then you would return home triumphantly. So what I'm going to be doing essentially is turning this into a romance plot instead of a heroic plot. So ordinary life, you're stuck at home, or ordinary life. You're at home, you're loving life, you don't want to go anywhere. Then you receive, instead of the call, it would be an invite to an academy, maybe to a ball, something. Refusal to call for whatever reason, so you don't want to go on the adventure. Or in this case, you don't want to go to the ball or the school or wherever you're going to be going. Mentor. Instead of meeting like a person to drive you forward, you could find a reason. So mentor would be changed to reason. And then threshold, crossing the threshold, essentially arriving at the place you didn't want to go. And then for challenges, you will meet your love interest, who proves to be your biggest challenge, and you'll have lots of like little rivalries going on and whatnot. And then the cave, instead of it being like a major battle, it would be it wouldn't be the belly of the beast, it would be like the darkest moment. So like maybe delving into like your biggest backstory, your biggest tragedy, something like that. And then after you've revealed that, you're kind of getting closer together, but something happens to kind of test your new relationship. You come out triumphantly, and maybe you get together. Hurdle. Oh no, there's another challenge presenting itself. Maybe it's the plot returning if there was a previous plot going on that got distracted by the romance, which happens a lot. Or it could be, maybe if you had sex, you get pregnant, It could also be, somebody from your past coming in and kind of messing up things, or it could be a lot of things. So this resurrection would be the ultimate test of your relationship. So now that this has come around, this is going to really test if you have solid foundations or if you're going to be, make a break. And then return. Instead of return, it would be celebration, because let's say you made it. So that was just an example, kind of a really bad one. I was kind of thinking it up as I went. So that is just an example of something you could do. You could do it with other things too, like maybe make it a mystery kind of thing. So instead of an invite, it would be the crime, but you know, maybe you're a retired detective and you don't want to go there. You know, you could do this with a lot of things. You could even, instead of turning it into a hero's journey, it could be the villain's side of the story, you know, like change things up a bit, you know, experiment. So we're going to be keeping the typical 3-act structure. So 1, it doesn't look like a 1, it looks like a 2. 1, 2, 3. Instead of labeling it with the typical plot points like introduction, inciting incident, rising action, climax, falling action, resolution, we're going to try it differently. So now I want this color. So let's say you start out with a cold open that leads to exposition that leads to incident. So we've got cold open, exposition, incident. An example would be opening while you're running in the forest and there's like this dangerous thing chasing you and oh no, it's about to catch you. And then exposition would be, I would turn out, it would be like a surprise. It was just a kid with her, you know, wild imagination pretending that a monster was chasing her. Incident. Oh no, she has to go to the woods now and be responsible and deliver this, you know, basket of bread to her grandmother's house. And then for Act 2, and then she would meet the wolf here. And then Act 2 would start with the aftermath. Then it would go to introduction. Then to decision. So aftermath is essentially fuck, I didn't think this through. Okay. Then for the second stage, we'll have the introduction, where she meets the wolf and her grandma. Like she'll end up going to her grandma's house and meeting the wolf. And then within this thing, she'll also meet, you know, the hunter guy that saves her. You know, rather than ending the story there would be an aftermath of, you know, like a lesson learned kind of thing. Then let's say the wolf didn't get killed, she was just saved. So then there would be the decision to train to like, or, you know, to start training to essentially find him himself and get kind of your revenge. let's say he murdered grandma before you were saved. Then you would have the trial or the challenge, essentially going on your journey to do that. And then your reward is essentially killing the beast that killed your grandmother. And then the twist would be, oh no, now you're the werewolf. So that is just one example. I will give you one more. Okay, so for this one, we are going to start with the exposition. Then we'll go to the incident, the decision, the journey, for Act 2. Act 2 would be the journey, and then action, and introduction. Then we will get traction, betrayal. I hate writing like this. It feels so unnatural. And then fall out. So let's say you are living on a farm, you know, typical fantasy opening. Incident happens. You know, some people come and destroy your village. They might take hostage or something. Decision, you know, you're deciding to go out after them. Journey is, you know, your journey, making allies, all your trials and stuff. Action, you would face, you know, a few of these guys. You'd meet them along the road a few times, you know, squabbles. Introduction, you'll meet this new person who kind of changes the tides. Like maybe you were struggling before and you meet this other person who starts making your journey easier. And so then you start gaining traction, getting purpose. Like let's say it was a war that was happening and so there was war slaves. And so now you're winning the war and you're getting closer to where the hostages are being held. And then here comes a betrayal. Maybe it's somebody who joined you on the journey from the beginning. Maybe it was the person you met, you know, during the introduction stage. It could be a lot of things. And then essentially the fallout. So maybe, you know, you didn't end up saving, you know, all of your friends and family. Maybe they died. Or maybe you did save them, but turns out one of them was, you know, the betrayer or something, or, you know, anything like that. Just, this is kind of fun thing to play around with. And I just wanted to make this video to kind of introduce you to these out-of-the-box ideas and approaches that you can take when structuring your story. And that is all I have for you. So see you next time.